Welcome to the Driving the World podcast series. I'm your host, Cully Holland. Today we have Caleb Boles, an application engineer, and we're going to be discussing conveyors, hoists, and mixers. Hey, Caleb, how's it going today?
Hey, Coley, doing well. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, so glad you came back. So today we're going to talk about some real-world applications, some things hopefully some of our listeners, a lot of our customers deal with maybe on a daily basis. So we're going to talk about three different applications we're going to see out there in the field, and they're going to cover a pretty good range of what our customers do. So why don't we start off with the first one? I think we're going to talk about some conveyors. So what should some of our customers know about conveyors, and how does SEW fit into the mix?
Yeah, so as an application engineer, I've been exposed to a lot of conveyors, a lot of different customers and their conveyors. And I think one of the cool things that I've learned is conveyors really are everywhere. You go anywhere and everywhere, and they're moving. Something's moving. We drive the world, and we really do through conveyors. So conveyors, we can do simple conveyors. We can do complex conveyors, indexing, continuous conveyors. And so we really have the same product modularity we have with our products. We also have an application where we can kind of apply our products to any kind of conveyor.
Cool. So when I hear simple to complex and indexing, we're talking, anything from standard IE3 DRN integral gear motor with any of our gearbox options, all the way up to maybe advanced controls with, VFD technologies, inputs, outputs, positioning, and that kind of stuff. So we really can do both types of conveyors.
Yes, 100%. And it kind of comes down to what the customer needs, what the application needs. We can do indoor, outdoor, so different ambient environments. Like you said, simple, complex. We could do just operating very minimally to 24/7, 365 a day.
That is awesome. That
Operation.
gives a lot of flexibility. And I know when I think of conveyors, usually there's a driving section and there's a belt, and they put some on the belt and it moves down the belt like a baggage claim. Is that the main kind of conveyor we have, or are there some other options that we can explore?
Yeah, so belt conveyor is a big one. We can also do chain conveyors. We can do bulk material conveyors, and then also how our gearbox and our controls connect to the conveyor as well. So we can do a solid shaft with a coupling. We can do hollow shafts. We can do a chain-driven conveyor, a belt-driven conveyor. So the opportunities really are endless, and that's what we're here for, is to help you, the customer, find a solution.
Well, awesome. With that kind of flexibility, I definitely see how SEW plays in the conveyor world, and our customers would like to use this because we have the options. Is there anything else that we may want to discuss on a high level about conveyors, or is that a general good talking point?
Yeah, I'd say that's good. I say there's always going to be, small things that different customers or different industries have. But I'd say we can always work together to find a solution to convey your material in an efficient way.
Well, fantastic. So if we're talking conveyors, that's usually, horizontal. We're going left to right. So why not rotate it 90 degrees? And let's talk about hoist. So that is probably another application that a lot of our customers see. And if they're thinking, all right, they go left to right, it has to be the exact same going up and down. I'm thinking there's going to be one or two differences we want to talk about. So what are some things that SEW wants you to know, or how SEW is involved in the hoist applications?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. A hoist really is just a conveyor turned 90 degrees going up and down. But when you turn 90 degrees, gravity comes into the equation.
Yes, it does.
When something goes up, it has to come back down, is what they say. So what we do is we require a brake to be included in any hoist application we size. These brakes are designed to be fail-safe, and they allow us to kind of counteract the effects of gravity in a safe manner.
Well, that's awesome. And when we're talking about hoist, I'm sure there's going to be simple hoist, complex hoist. Can we handle, hoists that may or may not need positioning or synchronization? I don't know everything that's out there, but I'm sure there's more than one type of hoist.
Yes, 100%. The same different options we have for a linear conveyor, we also have for hoists. The same products can be applied. The same technologies and control technologies can be applied. Few more things that we think of from an application standpoint is we can decide to use a counterweight of knot. We can handle a counterweight. We can also handle without a counterweight. It ultimately comes out to what the application requires. and then other all the other options are pretty much endless when it comes to finding the customer a solution.
I mean, that's awesome. So using our Movi-C technology in there with some of the advanced hoist controls and then counterweight versus not counterweight, it sounds like, as you said a little earlier, every customer, every application is going to be a little unique, but SEW is capable and definitely willing to work with whatever situation you have to find a solution to your application.
Yes, yes, and we're here for you, and hopefully we can find a good solution.
Awesome. So that's up and down. Anything we miss on hoists?
I don't think so. I think we did a great job of including that. We've gone left to right conveyor. We've gone up to down conveyor. What other kind of movements
So
are
we're
there?
going to go round and round. We
Okay.
got our mixers. So we're going left, right, up and down. Let's go round and round. I know just from a little bit of experience with mixers, there's definitely some things we want to consider, some bells and whistles that might be desirable. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the ways that SEW fits these needs and sometimes what can be a niche market of mixing.
Yeah, mixers are everywhere. A lot of different mixing applications. One of the big things we offer is we offer a variation of our standard 7 series gearbox in the mixers, and those are going to be the RMs, the FMs, and the KMs. So they come with all our standard options, or they can come with all our standard options. But what they're going to have is they're going to have an extended bearing hub, so that allows for more ruggedness in the mixing application. And they're also going to have dry wells, which can help us avoid any potential contamination in the mixing environment.
I mean, that makes sense to me because, when you're mixing something, I don't care if it's concrete, pudding, or even just a different salinity of water, you probably have a recipe.
Yep.
And we definitely want to keep those clean and keep contaminants out of it. So that sounds like a great option we have. And then these R, F, and Ks you mentioned, just real quick for maybe some first time listeners. The R box is going to be our inline series. The F is going to be the parallel shaft series, and the K is a right angle helical bevel. Are there any differences they should be aware of with the R, the F, the K?
Yeah, so I mean, the R, like you said, it's an inline. Because it's inline, we're not going to offer that with a hollow shaft. The F is going to be our parallel, and it could be offered with the hollow shaft, and then the K can also be offered with the hollow shaft. So whatever you need as far as your how you want the gearbox to be oriented, we can achieve that and find a solution. The only other thing I'd say when considering mixers, and another big thing, is to consider overhung load.
Right.
Most of the time when you think about gearboxes, you think about overhung load as being radial or perpendicular to the output shaft. With mixers, the shaft is going down into the mixer, and connecting to the actual mixer agitator. And so how that's supported could play a big factor in the axial load that the gearbox sees.
So when we're talking about that, we mentioned the extended bearing, which definitely gives us some improvement. It gives us, like you said, some ruggedness, maybe a little more service factor. But we still need to know whether or not that shaft is going to be independently supported by the OEM, the application, the customer, or if we're expected to be able to handle all of that. That will go into the sizing. And one more thing, something that I didn't think about, and I want you to elaborate just a little bit on. When you're mixing something, does it matter if you mix clockwise or counterclockwise?
Yeah, it does matter, which is a unique thing for such an application. Most applications or most of our products, they can give the same torque in both directions. It's actually a benefit or a perk of our product. With mixers, it does matter your torque value and which direction you're going. So that does need to be considered during application and product sizing. Is which direction are you going to mix, or you need to mix in both directions, and are there any other use cases for that agitator?
Yeah. So direction and then, of course, the viscosity or density of what you're mixing are going to play all into that overhung load you were talking about driving into the gearbox. I remember when I learned that it was a fun fact I have now. So I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we talked about it. And of course, we can handle counterclockwise and clockwise mixing. We just need to know. And I hope some of our listeners learned that as well so they can be sure to inform us of that.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is we're here to help. So reach out to your local engineering group, your local district sales engineers, or any other SCW personnel, and we're here to help you find the right product for your application.
Well, fantastic. We went left to right, we went up and down, we went round and round. Is there anything else we need to talk about for real world applications, or do you think we covered it pretty well?
No, I think that's it. Let's get back to driving the world.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Yes, sir.